All right, so time to fertilize here. I'm using purely organics, which makes it a little harder because you got to mix stuff together. But buildersoil.com has Big Six, which is like molybdenum, manganese, boron, cobalt, copper. The name, what's in it, some of what's in it. But there's six micronutrients in this, because sometimes that'll be the culprit, and it'll be like a small little pinch of something that it's missing in the soil. Because of that little pinch, you have issues. Same thing with magnesium, which most of the growers know about magnesium. Then there's seaweed extract. So this is going to be like growth hormone and macro and micronutrients. Here, I believe potassium as well. Then there is this. It's a terp tea from Roots Organic. It's a bloom formula, so it has mycos bacteria added. You can actually get this bag, and then you could put it in a bucket like this and aerate it and turn it into you can turn it into a compost tea just using this. But then there's added iron, because the Big Six doesn't have any iron, sulfur, magnesium, which we don't really need, calcium, potassium, nitrogen, a little nitrogen. But so then this is what it comes from as far as ingredients. But I mix it all here, and then I'm gonna go fertilize. All right, so it's mixed up again. Probably a gallon of it per plant that I feel I want to fertilize today. I'm not going to fertilize all of them because I'd have to do about 4 or 5 of these. But I can do. I did the smaller pots last time. Today I'm going to focus on some of the larger pots and then the smaller pots. But I'm gonna pick out a few larger pots that I feel that I want to hit up. All right, so when I planted these I'm gonna fertilize these because they look really, really good, and I want to keep that moving. And I haven't fertilized them yet, other than this. So I did just a pure bio-char that I talked about earlier, that I mixed with 50-50 with compost, and then I put bloom, that terp tea bloom, a whole bunch of it in here with some rice hulls, because they add silica, because we're not growing in a soil like sand, silt, and clay, so we need silica. But I aged it for about 4 months in the garage. I topped this, some of these earth boxes, actually all of them, with about an inch and a half of that. And that gave them a ton of nutrients. I'm gonna just water in a little extra. All right, so let's make sure this is aerated good. It's already kind of aerated anyways. The bacteria has been sitting in this thing for maybe 15 minutes, coming back to life. Whatever overwaters will just be taken up down at the root zone anyways. There's nowhere for the water to go. These things on the bottom, I believe it's 2.5 gallon reservoir. These earth boxes. It's a pretty cool idea. Normally what I would do though, if I'm growing my seedlings and I have the strongest plant of each variety, would normally get the earth box. But sometimes it's hard to figure out which one is the strongest so early in the season, and then later on, a month later, you're like, oh crap, I made it wrong. The other plant was stronger than the one I thought. This one here is supposed to be a black habanero from Refining Fire Chili, but the shape of them are nothing near what they should be at all. I checked the clavo, which is one of the parents, and it didn't look like this either. So I didn't check the other parent to see what the other parent looked like. That wasn't this cross, but the clavo is one. Anyways, it's gonna get hit up today. That one looks good. The Overwinter is another one. So you see all the pods on it. Camera never does it justice for color and shadow and such. Now I don't know which one of these pods I'm gonna try to keep. I want it to be super bumpily with a ton of like real deep creases. A tail wouldn't hurt either. So like this one looks good. Look at that. They say if your plants are weak, you'll get aphids. And if they're creating more secondary metabolites, then you'll start getting grasshoppers that up the food chain. Your plants will move up the food chain as far as pests. So the fact that it has so many pods on it, the leaves look fine. The new growth is pointed upwards and not drooped down. They're perking, reaching towards the sun. And the fact that there's grasshoppers on this plant, specifically this one alone, it's good. And those little white butterflies are going nuts over these flowers here. Just nuts over them. All right, so let's grab this. Now this one is going to be a little bit harder to do because it's kind of overflowing already. You can see the roots with these earth boxes. They'll, you hear roots only go down, but these suckers come down. They go down, across, and then up. And this is, I thought this might have been roly-poly. I guess it doesn't hurt. There's a little roly-poly in there. I thought this might have been too strong on the top for the roots to come up into, but being that I aged it for 4 months, they're white roots. They're growing in 50% compost. I tried to root my figs in this mix with perlite. Well, I rooted them in pure peat moss cocoa coir first, and they rooted fine, nice and white, and then I added them to a mix that had some of this in it, and it was way too rich, even though it was less of a mix than 50%. Or actually, this would be 100% on top of that mix. But for the figs, I did 20%, 30%. It was, they got rotten. They didn't do well. So these other two, these are Jay's, the purple pink boot from Faddis. Same thing with this one. It's just my strongest one, so it got the earth box. I should have put it in there by itself, because by the end of the season, those two are gonna be way too much. I don't see a lot of videos focused on like the back end part of all this. Like they focus, and this is an Urfa Bieber. That is Primo Tally chocolate. See the pods getting a little bit nicer underneath on this one. Primo Tally chocolate. I'm gonna put this in a bigger pot. This is like a 2-gallon-ish. They'll probably call it a 3-gallon in the nursery, but it's like 2.2 or something like that in real US gallons. But I'm gonna put that in probably like a 15 or 20-gallon pot here coming up within the month. Okay, I already hit these two up a little bit. Let me just hit these up a little bit more. Just make sure they're well fed. And then this one here. So we're getting low on this mixture. Oops, too much. So add that. This Urfa Bieber here is looking nice. Peppers go. It's just one humongous cluster. But again, I mean, this soil is it's peat. There's pumice stone. and a little bit of perlite, but it's for the amendments, it's 100%. It's like oily mountain compost. It's one of the good ones from Build a Soil, and then aged with they have a charged bio-char that they sell there at Build a Soil, and then I put the terp tea, Roots Organic terp tea, and that's their soil. So these plants are just wanting to pot up like crazy. So if you look, oops, I think I zoomed in by accident. Yeah, if you look in there, it's just a big cluster of pods, and they're not small pods. They're they're really big, and it's beginning of the season. So I might need to up pot this one specifically. The Jay's purple pink ghost or whatever it is it's potting up too. But these aren't large pods. These are smaller, and they normally have tails on them. So yeah, so these are fed. That one's fed. I fed this one specifically. I'm wanting to maybe feed this Fertilizer. So it looked like there was some mite damage early in the season. Let me zoom in. Or something going on there. I don't know what, but this is a Aleppo pepper. I want to do a sauce that's highly flavorful for the fam, but not like a super hot type thing. And Fertilizer are milder than jalapenos, but they pack more depth of flavor than jalapenos do. So I was thinking that'd be a good, let me just make sure, because that terp tea stuff, like it pools on the bottom because it's a powder. See, did it anyways. Even though, I'll get this, because the new growth on this doesn't look too bad. See that residue there? The new growth is not as perky as this one here. See the difference? But the newer growth don't have those specks where it looks like something is sucking the juice out of them. Here in Oklahoma, I did notice that the predator pressure on the pests are good. I'm gonna also do this one here because this is last year's pot. I amended the top a little bit, but the bottom of it is last year's soil. And those are the Chocolate Bootla CS, the Chad Zaleski selection. So he got he got the Chocolate Bootla, and then he found the phenols that he liked of that variety and grew them out. And this is what the result is. Chad Zaleski selection. Being that there's no pot on the bottom of that, I'll let that sit for a bit. This one I did fertilize not long ago with this same mixture, and it appears like it's greening up. I was gonna maybe kill this one off. So let's get this one again. It's liking what it's getting. It was yellowing. It was that one and this one here were yellowed. I hit them both up, and this one still doesn't look. This is supposed to be a BRMX yellow from White House peppers. So, oh, this one is definitely getting some. This is another BRMX yellow, I believe, but it doesn't look like a BRMX yellow. It looks like a, to be honest, it looks like a Primo Tally chocolate, but I thought I only grew 2 of them, not 3. So, because the BRMX yellow is not bumpy like this. It's like with the real sharp bumps, the jagged. Anyways, I'm gonna hit this up too because it's just raging. And my device is overheating in the sun, so it's gonna turn off. I gotta shade it with my body if I can. Okay, what else do we got? This one here is gonna get some too. This is another, it's supposed to be a Man, it's supposed to be a BRMX yellow, but they're growing kind of bumpy-ish. So I don't know. If it crossed with something, that'd be cool. But I was specifically going after the BRMX yellow because of the flavor profile reported on the White House Peppers website, not because of anything else. So, because I used to grow for the hottest, and that's all I would grow. And you realize that you can't really use, unless you're like this weird pepperhead guy. You can't use them. It's cool to have, and I always grow some super hots, but not all 100% super hots anymore. Okay, so this one is ready for another dose. So that's 2. And that's the first time I'm ever fertilizing this one, other than when I topped the soil. Now I did fertilize this one, but I hit the soil up real good. And this pod it's way too low, but it looks like it's ripening here. Eartha So this one as well. This is another Eartha. It got the big pot, and thinking back, I should have put that one in the big pot, but that one's already in a larger pot. So I'll up pot that one anyways on its own. But yeah, this one is just wanting to pot up real good. So same thing with all these. Like, look at the flower sites on them. The newer growth here looks real scraggly, and I don't know why. And it's actually only on this one cluster here, because if I look over here, it looks a lot better for the new growth. This is another black habanero here, and it almost died because of a drought. I didn't water it, but it looks better now. I did hit that one up a little bit with fertilizer, and these are sharing a pot. I'm gonna hit this up a little bit more because they're sharing that pot. So I'm gonna get the other side of the pot here this time. Okay, I got a little bit left. Did I get this one? I did not. That Primo Tally chocolate is raging pretty good. I want to keep that going. So we're getting low. So now I got to pick the last 2 that I want to fertilize. I'll save that for the next one. Let me get the first half. There's no pot under that one, so I'll fertilize it half and half. There really isn't any other ones that I want to hit. Maybe this. This is an Auguste, I think it's called. And the butterflies seem to love it. So let me hit that up a little bit. And then the rest of this is going to go in that Primo Tally chocolate. Oh, see, it's pulled in the bottom there. Let me pour it back in and get rid of that. I'd rather top dress with it than leave it in the bucket doing nothing, so. It's impossible to get it all. My son's tomato plant from my last videos, got a lot bigger. I'm gonna do an experiment, so let me know if you guys want to hear or see this. I'm gonna do like a Happy Frog versus my own soil mix. It might be an indoor tent grow of some New Mexican style, look at that, New Mexican style chilies. So it's gonna be like a Fox Farm Happy Frog, which is organic, versus my own soil mix. So let me know if you want to see that. It's probably gonna be a Pro Mix base with, because I don't want to worry about the pH and all that. So Pro Mix base with maybe some pumice stone, and I already have it aging right now in the garage. It's a grow mix though, so the terp tea, it's not even a terp tea, it's another manufacturer, but it's their grow formula, not their bloom. So yeah, these Eartha Bibers are these Aleppo peppers are very prolific. Very prolific. The BRMX yellows, the Eartha Bibers are very prolific from what I'm seeing. These peach, these J's, purple, pink, or whatever, ghost, they seem to be prolific as well, but it's kind of early in the season for these guys. They don't seem to be as heat tolerant either. It's going to be 86 today, so for now, it's real perky and nice looking. The leaves, look at these, real perky and nice looking. These, not so much. These, not the best, but not horrible either. There's a nice good shade. Also, the leaves have a gloss to them, so you know that they're creating the secondary metabolites, which means they're going to have more bug resistance, more mildew resistance. If they were duller, more like these, or slightly more dull, they're going to have less resistance. These are perking up straight up towards the sun. So once I up-potted it to this newer soil, it's really liking this thing. Is going to explode in growth once it releases those peppers on the bottom. So that's it. That's the garden update. It's going to be, today was just a work day, so just fertilization. So hope you guys enjoy. Any questions, or definitely post so that we can all benefit from them. Thanks for watching.